and welcome back to the SHEDCAST here at the Shed in Shedinburgh Fringe Festival. We are delighted to be back here with you on your commute, in your house, in the garden, in someone else's garden. Get out their garden, get back in your own garden, get back in the house. Phone your mum. The point is, we are back and we are speaking this week to a wonderful, wonderful guest. Or shall I say guests? They have been lighting up the Fringe for many a year, a wonderful company with some quite tremendous work. I am delighted to introduce you to Becca and Louise of Shit Theatre. How are you both?
Hello everybody, thank you. Thank you for having us, Gary.
You are very, very welcome.
Very happy to be in the shed.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right?
This stunning.
This is beautiful. Our first ever Edinburgh show in 2007 when we were 19 years old.
We were in unfinished theatre then.
It was a student theatre.
We've only got worse since then.
Yeah, we started off unfinished and we became shit. We were 19 and we were in this room
Really?
every day in 2007 doing a adaptation of a Raymond Carver short story called A Blossom Fell.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be in this room.
Nice to be back.
It's quite emotional.
That's cool. That is really, really cool. My abiding memory of this, probably about that same time, as I came here, because it's the student union, right?
Yeah.
And I came here, my wife's from Edinburgh, and sort of seeing her end of the city. I'm from Glasgow, and I came out here, came in, and then that door is forever etched in my memory because I opened the door to go to the bathroom, and then someone came out the bathroom, projectile vomiting. I was like, the wrong way. So I came in here like a couple of years ago to see a show. Can't remember what it was. What was it called? This is Memorial Reflex or something. Paul Higgins. It was brilliant, right? And I was like, this room seems familiar, this red room. And I saw that door and I was just like, oh no, it's back. Anyway, so it's nice to have this experience of erasing that. I can still smell it. But the point is, so 2007 then, unfinished theatre, unfinished business. You kept coming back.
That's good. That's
good.
good. Keep that.
Thanks. That was the second take as well. You did really well. I would like to ask then, looking back then, so that's the 18 years? Have we done some good maths?
About 18
no,
years.
No.
Yeah.
We were 19 then.
Yeah, and we're, I don't know,
we're
30 now.
Yeah, 18.
17 years?
No, because we
I
go
was
8
thinking- I was trying to think
Oh
about
yeah,
age.
2007. No, let's go by the year because it's 2007. It's 25. 25 minus 2007. Like 2025 minus 2007 is, it's 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Handy peeps.
Yeah.
Oh my
Handy
God.
peeps.
Thanks for
So
Harry.
18 years, if you met a baby,
Yeah.
then
If
they'd
a baby
be...
had
It
come
would
to
be
see
an
A Blossom
adult now.
Fell
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Raymond Carver.
Yeah, exactly.
If a baby had
They'd
come.
be like, well, the smartest baby ever.
And it would have been
Just
the
be
only audience member, probably.
Yeah. We actually did a children's show with Unfinished Theatre 2 years after that.
Called When Wendell Was a Wasp.
And we had never really met a child. And we said, you have to pick like an age limit.
We were like 3 and up.
Yeah, 3 and up. And then it was about a wasp that stings a woman. No, she breaks. He's
in love with a woman,
and then
but
he stings her by accident. She swats him, and he dies. But there was also quite a lot of like visual projection of camel spiders, which are quite a scary spider
and
from
dead
Afghanistan.
soldiers and the mushroom cloud over Hiroshima.
So it ends with that, and we obviously the children didn't like it, and we had to end up hiring my friend Heather as a complaints manager, and we got this really good technique down where people would come in and we would warn the parents there'd been a mistake in the program. It should actually say like 10 and up. So if your child can't handle it, that's fine.
And then they'd say, oh, no, my child's
can
really
handle it.
mature. My child can handle it. And then they couldn't complain
Yeah.
when their child hated it.
Because they had to stand by their decision to be
Yeah,
like,
say my child's
standing
actually
back,
very
going,
mature.
they'll handle this. I
Yeah.
mean, they might not say anything, they'll process it years later. And oh my days. I mean, that is a bold choice, right?
We didn't realise it was a bold choice
didn't
because we
know.
just didn't understand children.
We thought we'll cash in on the children's theatre market. We've done a couple of years of unfinished theatre doing Raymond Carver adaptations. That didn't rake in the cash. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hit the children's market. Everybody needs to bring their children to do something during the
Yeah.
summer.
It'll have songs, it'll have a love story about a wasp.
Yeah.
Lovely, great,
There was like a
harmless.
There's
It's
a
like
subplot.
90% there, right?
Was there like
The
a subplot
plan was
about
so
the-
close.
There was the dad had left the woman and he decided he wanted to be a bear, and it was like a metaphor about transgender rights, and the dad had left to join the bears in the zoo. And there was a whale.
There was also a
boy
20-minute monologue about atoms.
Yeah. We've got it on DVD.
See, this is what I was going to ask, right? Can we link to this? You
No,
could
please
no.
no.
Well, we could link. I mean, people would probably pay to see that. We do a link,
if
a
they pay enough.
subscription link. I wonder, did actually you? This is completely a creative question, but do you think maybe, and I'll be wrong, do you think maybe you were telling yourself it was for kids to allow yourself to be more fun and silly with it, or were you just genuinely trying to make something for kids?
Well, no,
and not,
our
like,
friend mostly wrote the script, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the same friend who did the Raymond Carver adaptations, and he took it still very seriously. He allowed himself no fun with it. I think that is also part of the problem.
Yeah.
right.
There
So-
wasn't an element
Yeah.
of fun.
Like the deep philosophical questions he was asking through the Raymond Carver scripts, he was also asking through When Wendell Was a Wasp.
Yeah, I've got you. Okay, so I wonder then, is that where you rebranded as Shit Theatre as a result of that, or was that completely separate?
That was totally separate.
Totally separate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were already friends.
Yeah.
Shit Theatre was made out of us. We had two sort of solo projects we were doing, and that
Yeah.
we came together. And the first show we made premiered in Edinburgh. We decided we would do Edinburgh Fringe. My brother lived in Edinburgh, so we could stay with him for free. We did the free Fringe. We played at the room underneath the newsroom nightclub.
The
in
Yeah,
basement of the newsroom.
basement, yeah.
And the
we-
newsroom wasn't as nice then as it is now.
Yeah, and then we just wrote a bunch of stuff we thought might be in the show, and then
We put that in the bio, and then we
Yeah.
wrote the show to match the bio.
the show was basically a tick list of us proving we had done the things that we said we would do in the copy, so that they would get their money's worth. It was free, and we were on after a South African mentalist, like a magic man who can tell you what your mind is saying.
Yep.
And
Yep.
before, a Japanese gypsy funk band.
And they were called Semyon, which in Japanese means like cricket
Cicada
sound,
music.
cicada music.
Right, okay.
But in English means
You've got
Semyon.
Semyon.
Yep.
And so we had to break the news to them that their band had a different meaning in English.
Turns out that there were two men in the band and there were two women in the band. The men had known that all along, it turns out.
Yeah. And the
There you
women were lesbians and they didn't know.
So that was then the birth of Shit Theatre
Yeah.
that day, that time. And does that feel like, I mean, as you look back on it, does that feel like your first proper Fringe, or are you still very much, it was the Raymond Carver years?
It was the Raymond Carver
Yeah,
years.
Yeah, it was when we're like telling the biography of Shit Theatre, there are like 3 or 4 years that we conveniently forget, and if we're including Unfinished Theatre, that is 7 years in a row that we are conveniently
Leaving out of our narrative.
of the narrative.
For multiple reasons. One, so we could still apply for money for emerging artists. And two, shame.
Shame, big shame. Yeah, there was 1 year we got like full. This was the third or fourth year of Shit Theatre. Third year of doing Shit Theatre.
And
So
that's first time we did a show where we'd been given Arts Council money to do it.
because it used to get a bit of through Escalator East to Edinburgh, you used to get a little bit of cash to bring shows to Edinburgh.
And we were so overwhelmed by having money to make the show
And
that
also
it was terrible.
your dad had
my
just
dad
died.
had just killed himself as
So
well.
it was a really hard year, and we just completely froze. We came up to Edinburgh with a show that was terrible, 1-star reviews all around. On the last day of the show, instead of doing the show, we hid in
Noodle bar.
the noodle bar. So we were doing a show in, what's that, the Pear Tree.
Still the Free Fringe?
Still the Free Fringe. But in the big room at the Pear Tree. And instead of going to our show, we hid in the noodle bar and just watched the very small queue of people that had been there to see us dissipate. And I was like, I think we got away with this. And then I got a text from my mum saying, my friend Sylvia has come to the show and says you didn't show up. So yeah, well, there's shame is mostly the reason why we forget about those 6 to 7 years.
However, I bet you learned a shitload more doing that version than it going all right. Surely.
probably.
Because
I mean,
to do it again after that, that is
what were we
like...
thinking?
I mean, the year before that, we learnt a lot because we were in another basement doing a different...
even further down
Shit
into
Theatre
Leith.
show. And that show was called Following the Outstanding Success of Shit Theatre.
It was called Following the Outstanding Success of Shit Theatre Present Shit Theatre, Shit Theatre Present. Following the Outstanding Success of Shit Theatre Present Shit Theatre, Shit Theatre Present More Shit.
And it was in the basement of the Phoenix, which is the only Tory pub in Edinburgh. and we were on at like midnight, and it was only these like local old men who started to come see us, and it was one guy.
One young guy who'd lost an arm and used to stick his stump out of his shorts to look like a penis.
He said he lost it in Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure he didn't, but he had like an arm with no hand, and he
came every night.
He pretended his cock was hanging out of his trousers. His name was Neil. We actually got on with him really well.
And he was there every night.
And he was there every night, and it was, to begin with, it was only like these old men that would fall asleep, and Neil with his like pretend penis hanging out his trousers. But then after a while, we did a lot of the like free things where you can do promotions by doing little songs and stuff in the underbelly, and we ended up like filling out this weird little basement every night, and so we probably did learn.
We learned a lot.
Yeah. And so different stuff from the year after where.
It was different, yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel like you knew what you were doing by that point? And that's what was it just? It's just one of those shows that it just didn't like. You were.
We had a concept, and the concept was the show is about us being on job seekers. Whereas the only concepts we had the few years before were it's a list of things that are in the show.
Yeah.
That was the only concept. It's just like a list of silly sketches and songs and stuff. But this was attempting to be a bit more high concept and then freezing. But then we rewrote it, and then that show. Won awards and was better.
Yeah, it's funny. I was drilling in a bit because I totally recognise the experience, like making a bunch of shows, like you just put on for a couple of nights in Glasgow and taking like it works and it doesn't, and fine. And then the first time I got a bit of cash behind it, I just absolutely completely froze, and not much, just enough to get a bit of a team. And it completely broke me.
Yeah.
Like that expectation, that freeze, that not realising that I didn't know that I was exploring, with the thought at the back of my mind that exploring is fun and free if there's no pressure. And that it was horrible. And then you still have to do it every
Oh my God. Or
time.
you can hide in the noodle bar.
Which I wish I could have done that. Or thought to do it. I could have, but I just didn't realise it was an option. But yeah, I totally recognise that. So then if you could then over those 18, we now agree.
Yeah.
We've not agreed actually. I'm just saying that. I think there's still a Stewards inquiry.
No, it must be 18.
It's 18, but we
were 19 at the time.
Yeah,
and we're 37 now.
Yeah.
But because if it was 2000, because next year will be 26, and then the year after will be 27. That would take us up to it doesn't.
18 years.
Yeah. We'll cut the. Listen, just what is it like? But like, so have you got a highlight then? I mean, it might be one of the moments that you've already spoken about.
For us,
personal
highlights.
Your time at the Fringe, both of you. It might be a shared one, but it might be.
The year that after the 1 star hiding in the noodle bar year, we did a show, the rewritten show, in a venue which doesn't exist anymore called Griffin Venues in the pubic triangle of Edinburgh, and we shared our dressing room with a goat, this live goat that was in the show after us.
And can I just say, the show was so good, it didn't even need the goat.
The goat was on at the end, and we were like, this show has, absolutely didn't need that goat.
It didn't need. I mean, we loved it when the goat came on.
Yeah, but the
show was so good, didn't even need it.
And also, we were on the same time as like a 40-piece Alaskan choir from a small town who'd saved up all their money and brought like every member of this village over to do a musical about Christmas in August.
No, did we have to, for that week, we weren't allowed to do our show?
We had to take 5 days off because they had booked out the entire 5 days. And at the end of the musical, which is set in winter but isn't Christmas, they went,
Merry Christmas. They could have just removed that bit.
Yeah, and it could have just been a winter musical.
You're both sitting there going, right, guys, love the shows. You don't need a goat. Just kill the Merry Christmas at the end.
Merry Christmas.
Guess what? Just don't say and Merry Christmas.
But that year was really, really hard. Like we had a bit of funding again, but it was not going well.
We're struggling to get audiences to come. We were performing to.
Do you know what you needed? You needed a goat.
Yeah.
A goat that they would then later say you didn't need. But it's
Gets
the
people
perfect.
in.
It was crucial to that show in ways that you could not describe.
Our show probably would have been better.
But what happened was we had very, very few audience members, and we agreed that the one thing we wouldn't do is perform to just one person. We said, look, we don't want the two of us to outnumber our audience.
Yeah.
And so one day this woman came. She was the only woman there, and we're like, okay, we'll just get her to go. And we went up to her and we were like, look, you can go if you like. We'll get you a refund, or you can come another day. And she was like, today's the only day I can come.
Right,
We
really,
were
we don't.
like,
have
you
to
don't
stay.
have to
You should
stay.
leave.
And then she was like, she agreed. She was like, look, if someone else comes, so there's the same number of people, I'll stay. And if no one else comes, I'll leave. And we were like, okay, good. God, no one's going to come. No one's coming. And then 30 seconds before our show went up, my fucking mum came in.
So then we had to do a show to this woman and Caroline. And then it turns out that woman was a judge for the Archer's Brick Award, which we then won.
Hey,
Based
there you go.
on that show. So it was like and towards the end of that Fringe, we won the Total Theatre, another award that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
For emerging company. And the last 2 shows, we had people in the room, and it felt like everything had been worth it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that was a lovely, we said what was a good moment.
Yeah.
That was a good, that turning point was a lovely, unexpected moment after a really grueling year.
Oh my God, I really still, that Fringe still stands out as like the real one that's, the important one in my brain.
Yeah. And you know, that moment, a similar moment might have come in the future, but you can actually pin it on a moment where you were wanting to, or offering to not do it, thinking that's our point. But often when you're pushed to the point where you go like, well, how much do we believe in this rule we've made for ourselves? Well, okay, we'll do it for 2 people. We'll be even. We'll be even. And there you go. And it took your mum.
Yeah.
And there you go.
She didn't tell me she was coming. I was so angry when she walked through that door.
That is a lovely highlight. And I just like, but I feel I've got more questions about the goat, but I think that everyone will have so many questions.
They were very
about
well
the goat
behaved.
that
They hired the goat from the
It was a white goat.
petting zoo, an Edinburgh-based petting zoo. It was a dance piece about decorum.
It was about decorum, and they were having a dinner party that got more and more out of hand. And then at the very end, the lights went down, they came back up, and the food was strewn everywhere, and there was a goat just munching away.
But they were so good.
That's a nice moment.
Yeah, it was a good moment.
Yeah.
But I think the point is not that we didn't want the goat there. We did.
Yeah.
But the show was strong enough even without it.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
And
no one saw it.
Nobody saw it because the Griffin venues, they weren't.
what a shame.
They were trying, but we got a 3-star review from the Scotsman that year.
And they put it all over.
They put it all over our
posters.
posters, which I mean, it was quite a nice review.
Yeah,
but
totally.
you don't really see around Edinburgh people bragging with a 3-star review, but they were quite like fresh, green venue runners.
Yeah.
And they're like, brilliant, we got a Scotsman to come and see one of our shows.
Yeah. Oh, I long for the day that someone can come to one of my shows and say, do you know what? Doesn't he need a goat? And so let's talk about other work then over that time. Do you like to see stuff that other people do, or do you like to stay in the zone and like focus on your own thing?
We like to see.
We like to see things.
There
was one year I didn't, which I think was 2019. I was just exhausted, and I was like, when I'm not performing, I'm pretending I'm not at the Fringe.
Yeah.
But apart from that one year, sorry for who was on that year, who I missed. But apart from that year, we loved.
Yeah, the Belgians usually. That's our number one.
That's great. Someone else has mentioned Jimmy Entourage Good.
Just the Big in Belgium program. It's like everything that they bring
basically.
over.
So we sort of have a performance art background, and Belgians make the best performance art, and it's because they've got proper funding.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I went over to Ghent a few years ago,
and
like you see the studios and the time, not fancy, but the space, the time, the money, the people are given the time and space to think and create, which is why a company, we were talking about Entourage the other day, why they come back every year, and the show is always so very different. You know, one year it's, you know, a bunch of teenagers making an absolute riot. The next year it's 7 men walking up and down the space. The next time it's 2 women singing opera, and but it's always, or it's one person chalking on it. But whatever happens, you are getting something started with an idea and not chasing, like, you're like, oh, we've done that, so we've done that show, we'll need to think people know what we are. It's like, no, we'll just start again every time, because time and space, it is lovely.
And they were so internationally minded, like the people who were running the sort of venues and stuff in Ghent. Like, we were asking, you know, do you have to be from Ghent or from Belgium to be able to access this? They're like, why would that be the case? Whereas you come to England and things get so specific.
To prove you live here.
You have to like be specifically from Camden to be able to access this pot of funding, and you have to be specifically this, you know, thing to get this. And they're so much more open to, and I think that affects what they make as well.
Yeah, totally. Well, big up the Belgians.
Big up the Belgians.
Well done, Belgium.
Although they were also complaining that they had their arts has been cut, except it's been cut from like way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I'm glad that they're still complaining about it.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep it exciting. If you were to go back to 2007, right, if you could see yourself through a wee portal, what are you going to say to yourself? You're stepping off the train at Waverley, about to start your first Fringe, it's unfinished theatre. What are you saying to each other, yourself, your younger selves? What would you say?
That is a big question, isn't it? I mean, we were extremely lucky at that time, and it's hard to, if this is like advice you would give, you couldn't give the same advice now, because back then after we graduated, we were on the dole, and you used to be able to move your dole so that you were on holiday in Scotland conveniently at exactly the same time and still get your dole, and like things were much more affordable. Like my brother lived in Edinburgh, and then we had friends that lived in Edinburgh, and we used to sleep in some real shitholes, but it was possible.
Yeah.
And
we were young. It didn't matter that we were sleeping in a shithole.
And the advice would probably be all of these opportunities are there, and don't miss them. You know, we were really, there have been lots of golden ages, you know, in the 80s it was easier, in the 90s it was easier, and we had it easier, and it's really hard now, and I'm sure there'll be stuff in the future which is even harder, but I'd
probably say one day you, Louise, are going to be tempted to get a merm. Don't do it.
Don't get a merm.
Don't get a merm.
It's a perm for men.
It's a perm for men.
Oh wait, another piece of advice, don't eat pancake. Don't eat the pancake hut until at least 3 in the morning. At least 3 in the morning.
Right.
It's not as delicious as you think it is.
It should, don't have that sullied by the daytime.
Yeah, I had a sober pancake last year.
My kids were looking at the pancake the other day, and I was like, this feels like a...
Your children need to be drunk.
You need to get your children
I was
drunk.
like, look, guys, let's come back. Let's come back in 6 hours. At which point it'll be at least 4 in the afternoon. I haven't actually tried pancake.
Oh, wow.
It's like a lot of those vans, they smell so good that I've just savoured the smell.
Where do you eat in
experience.
Edinburgh?
Oh, listen. Moss Kitchen and Palmyra's are the two. I will, year upon year, start day one. I'll have my lunch at one and my dinner at the other, and then I'll swap. I'll alternate the next day. I'll have my lunch at one and the other.
Really?
And it's been ever thus.
Yeah.
Since
Moss
2011.
Kitchen or the original Moss Kitchen?
The original Moss Kitchen. Now, depending on the time, if there's a big queue, and if there's no tables and I'm sitting, I will wander up to the new one. The new one's lovely. The folk in there are lovely, but I like to get round down the lane. And Palmyra's is just like a Palmyra's pizza, but it's all about the wraps. Oh, that falafel, it's good. Right, but enough about me. You've moved us wonderfully on to our quickfire questions. Where would you both eat during the Fringe? What's your top, apart from pancake, late at night?
Late at night pancake.
Yep.
We always go to Shedinburgh for lunch, which is over in the new town.
I don't know that.
Over in the new
town.
town.
The French place.
The French place. 3 courses for 12 quid. Look, I can recite that menu.
A few years ago, they did up their women's toilets and they bragged about it for another few years. Yeah. They are quite nice.
They are. It's genuinely, for anyone who doesn't know about it.
So good.
It is $12.95 for a 3-course lunch.
Plus free bread, plus free salad, plus free charcuterie if you eat meat.
Yeah, and your lunch in that includes steak and chips, and it's delicious and it's French.
More free.
You can get more free.
Yeah, for 12, and that's with a French onion soup and some sort of delicious chocolate cake. It is honestly not sponsoring us, but it is marvellous.
And it's 2 doors down from what we call late night Italian, which is, I don't know what it's called, but it's the Italian place that everyone goes to, like 2 doors up from
Oh yeah.
And it's open late.
Yeah.
Possibly Milano's, but the waiter in there, I went so many times one year that he would just bring my bottle of wine without me ordering it, and that was very
That's a
satisfying.
moment.
Yeah.
That's a moment.
Yeah.
That's
He
when you've made
mixes
it.
our own garlic butter dip
Salsa
as well.
verde, yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
listen. No, you've got it sussed.
And there's a new place that we love behind Summer Hall. We don't know what it's called. It's a Chinese place that's run by a lovely woman, and they have these incredible spicy green beans.
But it's tiny and it's so cramped, and you can barely fit in. And you're also sitting on top of each other, and it's really stressful. And then the food arrives.
Absolutely incredible.
Gorgeous.
Great. We will find the names of these and we will link them below. That's great. So, sorry, I'm thinking about dinner. So then, other quick-fire questions. Right, where are my quick-fire questions?
Yeah.
So what's your top tip for surviving the Fringe?
Oh God.
Oh God.
You just have to get through it. There is no...
There's a top tip for surviving the Fringe. I honestly... build in. We're very traditional. Like we like rituals and traditions that we build between the two of us, and we built in years and years ago a ritual where we promised ourselves if we ever got a 5-star review
From a semi-reputable source.
Semi-reputable. We're talking like 3 weeks and up.
Yeah.
That we would treat ourselves to a 5-star night out. And when it eventually happened years later, we committed to that ritual, and it continues to happen if or when we get 5 stars. And so those sort of little rituals where you can give yourselves your traditions that happen in Edinburgh for yourself or the people you're with have been really helpful. Like the 5-star night out, we've had 5-star nights in as we get older as well. We had a 5-star massage last year.
Well, what's your top tip for this year's Fringe? Have you had a look? I know you're only here for a couple of days this year, but have you got a top tip for this year's programme?
Oh, there's loads of stuff we want to see.
So the other Soho shows that are on at Shedinburgh, we'd highly recommend if you haven't already seen them, which is Ben Target's Lorenzo.
And Ages of Feeling by Hayley McGee. They're probably sold out, but there are tickets on the door. We really want to see Tucson Douglas's show about a pigeon that is also on the Soho programme. Maddie, who's the Soho producer, said to us, if you even have a passing like of pigeons, then
this is the show
for you. So we're going to go and see that. I really want to see, or we both really want to see In Bed with My Brother, doing Philosophy of the World, I think it's called.
Yeah, as mentioned, Ontred Good.
Yeah. There's another Belgian show called Fatal Flowers, which is by a Dutch clown that I really want to see. That's at Summer Hall too. Our friend Phil O'Shea, who's an amazing clown comedian, is on at the Stand. Only a few nights. We're missing him, but that's going to be brilliant. He was one of my favourite shows last year. He's always amazing.
He's a genius.
He's a genius. Yeah, he's a quiet genius.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Any more? I don't stop you because these are all helpful.
John Tothill. I want to see. He's a stand-up. I want to see Jacqueline Novak, who's an American stand-up, has an incredible Netflix special, and she's over from the States. So
excellent.
If you like circus.
Oh yeah, we're going to go see La Clique. It's La Clique's 21st anniversary.
Oh, that's cool.
Our director, Ursula Martinez, is doing her classic Red Hanky performance, so we're going to go see.
Oh wow, excellent. Well, we will link them all below. That's really cool. Anyone else?
Yes. That's it, I think.
So we're only here for 3 days.
Yeah,
and one of them we're doing our show.
And Louise is getting a massive tattoo on Monday, so that knocks out Monday.
That's And did you want what did you want to do that in Edinburgh? Is it because you wanted to mark the festival, or because there's an artist that you like here?
There's an artist I like here. Yeah.
I thought
one year Louise got this massive arm tattoo done, and we were
crowd surfing every day.
Yeah, so she had to be like,
as people just grabbing.
It's very fresh tattoo.
Yeah. That'll be.
That was on one day off that year as well.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're talking the top tips for surviving the Fringe. Just get through it. Add as much pain as you possibly can.
People now get days off, which I think is great.
Yeah, they get like every Monday off or something.
Last year we had every Monday off, and that's a real small culture change, which I think
makes
good.
A big difference.
And you can ask your venue for stuff like that.
They're not. There's most of them. Yeah, there's still a few that are like.
I see a lot of comedians are just doing straight through, apart from that one Monday. But
it's just wild. Mondays, good days, and also just like that's so good for the venue staff. Because they are
that's true,
bursting their pan in.
Yeah.
We go in for like an hour and a half and we're like, it's but they're
doing that 5 times a day.
Yeah. It's like, oh my days. So big up the venue staff. Love your venue staff. And last quick fire question is your worst sleeping arrangement at the festival. Now you mentioned that there was some rough arrangements at the start of the year, but let's get specific. What was your...
Okay, so Becca mentioned that we stayed with her brother.
Yeah.
And that year there were 9 of us sleeping in one relatively small room on the floor.
So he slept on the sofa, and 9 of us got his bedroom. So like 3 of us in the bed and the rest of the people on the floor, including Rich, who
has like wall-shakingly loud snores.
That was pretty good though, compared to... one year we slept for the first couple of days. My cousin lives in Gorgie.
Yeah.
We were very young. Yeah. Becca's cousin is of an older generation.
Yeah, and he said, come stay with me, but it turned out he meant come sleep together on my pleather sofa.
But it was like a pleather sofa that's barely for 2 people to sit upright on.
So we literally slept like that next to each other for a few days. That was pretty bad. There was one year
we were staying in the same room as a friend who turns out had night terrors and was just screaming all night long every night.
One year when we were doing Unfinished Theatre, we were staying in a hostel at the end of Princes Street. 40 people to a room.
There was a Canadian woman staying there who would bring 2 different men to her bed every night. So on 2 occasions each night, you'd be woken up by, and she'd scream and laugh loudly while they were
She was
having
having a great time. Good for her, but it was like extremely disruptive.
But you're trying to sleep.
And that room only had, there was one fridge for all of those people, and all the shelves had collapsed in on themselves. That was the only place to store food. So that was pretty bad. Those are our probably top 3. There was, I mean, there's been other.
That was 4? Was that 4?
And there's like,
That's our
we did
top 4.
Edinburgh until the pandemic hit every year for 13 years in a row. And it took to year 13 to get our own bedroom.
Yeah.
And my bedroom didn't even have any windows that year, but it was still the first time we'd ever had a door we
That
could
you
shut.
could close and have some space for yourself for just a moment. Like.
Yeah.
So where would you go? Because there'll be people absolutely, and maybe not specifically these scenarios just now, but
Similar
like
scenarios.
similar scenarios. Like, what advice would you give them in terms of carving out that bit of time for yourself if you're not getting it in the shared living scenario or in the hostel or whatever? What are you, or you're sharing a pleather sofa?
What? This is a new discovery. I don't know if you've heard of it. Leaf.
Yeah.
Leith
Yeah.
is gorgeous, and I was there last night trying to escape Oasis and the Fringe, and it is just like, it's like a half an hour, 45-minute walk away from the centre of town, and you can feel like a normal human being surrounded by other normal human beings, and gorgeous pubs and bars and places to eat, and the sea, and the buildings are beautiful. I watched a seagull die in Leith yesterday, which was slightly more dramatic than I'd hoped, but apart from that,
Well, you were expecting something more joyful from watching a seagull die.
Well, this is the worst Fringe show I've ever seen.
1 star.
Yeah. So take yourself to beautiful places. I really want to go on Portobello Beach to the Victorian. There's some swimming baths where you can swim
That's
and
lovely.
see the ocean outside.
There's another beach I did not know existed that's much closer to the
really?
centre, Crammon Beach.
Oh, I've never
It's
been.
like round the other way.
We
And
used to get the
it's-
train out to North Berwick and have an ice cream and have a walk.
listen, we went to North Berwick just before we started last week. This is the second time I mentioned this, but we saw dolphins.
Oh my God.
It was amazing.
Wow.
It was like, and we go all the time there because we camp there and stuff like that. Because we're year rounders around this neck of the woods. But my God, like
gorgeous,
I was in bits. So they might be nearby when you get back out.
Yeah.
Listen, oh no, you're only here for a couple of days.
Yeah, we don't need to escape. We're only here for 4 days.
Yeah,
But for people doing the full Fringe.
A slightly more depressing, but it's less sort of lovely. But if you just need a nap and have nowhere to go, I don't know if they still do it this year, but in the past I've gone to the Fringe hub and they've had like sofas and blankets, so you can go there and have a nap.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times in the past. If they're still doing that.
That would be great because sometimes you just like,
You shut your
well, if
eyes.
you are staying with somebody that's snoring through the, well, I was going to say through the walls, but like even within the walls, and you're doing your show and you're up late and you're enjoying it. That would be good if they still did that. Maybe they actually never intended anyone to sleep. You were just like blanket, sofa, doing it, and it's just like,
Maybe.
listen,
I did.
you're-
I
yeah,
slept
exactly. Yeah, go brazen.
I discovered this took me however many years, 18 years, there's the canal. Is it?
Yeah.
Canal, because I run,
Yeah.
I was looking for somewhere flat.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. So if you're looking for somewhere to run or like just to walk, again, out of Edinburgh,
Yep.
in sort of closer, like sort of the Haymarket end of the meadows,
Yep.
you can get onto the canal and just walk, and that is gorgeous as well.
Yep. And there's a lovely walk of what's it called? It doesn't matter. It goes from sort of Haymarket out towards Granton. There's like a walkway. It's the old railway bridge.
Oh, nice.
And it's fairly flat, and it's lovely for a walk or a cycle, and it'll lead you to a lovely wee, on a Friday or Saturday, it'll lead you to a wee food hub thing, pop-up things, just like loads of different food from around the world. And it supports a homeless charity as well. It's like a, what do you call it, social enterprise thing.
Nice.
It's really cool. I can't remember what it's called. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to round off by saying you're here in the shed, and it's your show from last year, I believe. Yeah. Have you updated, changed, or are you just revisiting for the joy and love of it to share it with another audience? What's your relationship to the show been like since you did it last festival?
I mean, it's going to be different in this venue. This is the first time we've ever done it kind of unplugged. I mean, it is a show about folk music and the folk scene and grief. So it was semi-unplugged, but this is no mics, just acoustic instruments. The lights go up and down in this beautiful little wooden room. And then the sing-around that we do is going to happen straight afterwards. And we've got all night, and people can also come and join the sing-around if they don't have tickets for the show as well, which is going to be lovely.
That's really nice.
The show hasn't been updated. It's kind of, as grief transforms, it feels different, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'd say.
But I think the main thing is just this room is sort of what the show always wanted to be placed in.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect venue for it.
Well, and it's a perfect venue for you to mark your 18th birthday. Back here where it all started.
Thanks for making us aware of that.
Yeah, thank you.
From Raymond Carver and hard nights of low numbers to having people queued up round the block to try and get those handful of tickets that are held back, and then hopefully they'll stay the hour to wait if they don't get in to join your singing afterwards. An absolute pleasure to speak to you both. I hope tonight's lovely and that you enjoy your tattoo and seeing the rest of your the shows that you've got on your list, as you get as many of them as you possibly can. Thank you for taking the time, and all the best with your show.
Thanks,
Thank you, Gary.
So thank you. What a pleasure that was. I hope you join us next time. I can't wait to join you again. This has been a real treat. And like and subscribe, of course. I need to say that. You need to do it. If you've already done it, you'll be like, listen, you cheeky. But I will say it every time because I won't forget. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.